Hello and welcome to Grim Dawn, a hack and slash post-apocalyptic 3D game. It really reminds me of Diablo, and I haven't really played much of Diablo, so this is pretty much the closest thing I can probably relate it to. You can see I have a character here, Archadeas, level 57, Pyromancer. Yeah, the game actually gets rather hard later on, but not in a hard way. Actually, normal difficulty is relatively tame, except for like the quote-unquote dungeons, which are actually like specialized dungeons. But it's when you start going into Elite, which is really not fun. But yeah, we're gonna make a new character. I'm going to have it male, and we're going to name him Lord Archadeas. Great. Hooray. And I get to keep my other character. I actually had to make sure I had that, but yeah. Next. Main campaign. Yep, can't have any custom games yet. Funny enough, the game is actually content complete, which means that there's going to be no more added content to the game. Still drawing breath, I see. You're one lucky bastard. I'll give you that. Best go speak to Captain Bourbon right away. He seems to have plans for you now that we've spared your life. I don't... What's going on? Where am I? I'm probably not going to talk to these, because these kind of get lengthy, actually. Where can I find the captain, then? I'll be on my way, then. Hooray. So I'm just this random peasant with a club and a shield. Here's the captain. What is it you want me to do? Yeah, what is it you want me to do? Hooray. Where can I find Burial Hill? I'll find what's reanimating those corpses. Basically, the entire storyline is that the world has ended. There is some sort of event where the dead have risen up and no one understands why. They call it the Grim Dawn. And it's actually primarily the, I want that rifle, by the way. I don't use shields as much, and this is all kind of junk equipment, and we won't be using it for very long. I already know about this game mostly, and I actually play as a occultist slash, yeah, basically I'm an occult pyromancer, or crazy maniac with fire. More like a pyro than a pyromancer. Demolitionist. That is actually the term. And basically what you want to do is kill everything. Especially early on, you really want to kill everything. And it actually doesn't hurt. You have actually 2 slots here. The axe is actually a much better weapon to the club thing, the splintered club. It doesn't seem like it, but it's actually much faster. Oh, is it? Huh. I guess they're about the same. Remember that this one was kind of junk compared to the other one, but I guess it was because I had a new axe, or a different axe. And basically, the entire idea is, to start off, they want you to go and kill something that's reanimating corpses near their base. That's what I got, okay. And this stuff's kind of junk. You'll get it later. This is your stats. Physique is basically your physical ability, cunning is your dexterity, and spirit is your magical potential. And, well, you know, even later on, spirit doesn't tend to be very valuable even for casters. That is the sad thing, is it doesn't really affect much. You're actually going to want to have physique almost the entire game. And that's something I feel is a little imbalanced for this, because my pyromancer, he's like 600 physique and 400 and everything else. And actually I leveled up. But yeah, you go to your skill windows here. These are your 6 primary classes. You can only choose one at a time. Oh, at a time, basically. This is your permanent character. Soldiers are really good for melee. They are basically your tank. Demolitionists are, in a sense, your DPS slash AoE soldier. They are your heavy damage, or partially heavy damage. They're more like the specialist. Occultists are the summoners. They tend to be the casters, not really so much as the caster, more of the support, heal, and damage. They're more of a generalized class, useful for pretty much anyone. The Nightblade is melee damage, or melee DPS. They don't really have any real special abilities, honestly. They could dual wield, so they do a lot more damage, but you can get dual wielding later anyway for any class. So that's kind of Nightblades I would actually shy away from. Archadeas, they have almost no defense, but they are extremely deadly with magic. They are pretty much your main damage. They will destroy anything. But as I said, they have almost no protective abilities. They are completely junk when it comes to actually taking a hit. Shamans are more of a berserker caster. They deal with a lot of lightning. They have some summoning abilities, so in a sense, shaman and occultists are, if you have both these classes, because you can have 2 eventually, they're basically the summoner class. Now, what I did was I went occultist and demolitionist, because the occultist has the summoning ability, which I actually, more or less, it worked really well for me. But I think I'm gonna go with tank this time. Do I want to do that? Yeah, I focused too much on my pet, unfortunately, or I didn't focus enough on my pet, making my actual class useless. So I think I'll go soldier. Yeah, I'm gonna go with soldier. And you cannot undo this. So if I want to undo this and redo that, I will have to go make a new character. Force Wave, I don't really use one-handed attacks much, so I'm actually going to need to specialize into this somewhere a little bit further down. Physique's pretty good. Miniers will. Let's see. First, you need to put a point in anyway before you're able to do anything. This is primarily... Ooh. This attack requires a shield or a two-handed weapon. That actually sounds pretty good. I'm gonna go with the Soldier Demolitionist, because Demolitionist is amazing. It is pretty much my favorite class. And if you see people popping up on the screen, that is annoying, because I had disabled that, but apparently Steam doesn't really care if I've disabled it or not. When used as your default weapon attack. Do I want to use that? No, I'm not even going to be using that, so I don't have to worry about that. Default weapon attacks. I'm not going to be using default weapon attacks. This is more of the actual ability, so I'm actually going to go with this. And there we go. Actually, you know what? I'm going to undo points. I'm just going to go for the full health. Because it's not going to really affect me, because most of this stuff is going to be replaced anyway. So I'm not going to have to worry about it. But now I'm actually just a little bit stronger. Oh, he didn't go down. I'm going to go with physique early on. I actually started off going with will and everything, and it kind of became an issue later because I had wasted too much points in spirit and ended up not needing it almost at all, which was really disappointing. Now, in this game, nothing really despawns, and that is to a point. Things do respawn in this game, it's just they don't respawn during your play session. And I always love the great sword. Food mace, I'll just sell it. We haven't even gotten a magic item yet. That's disappointing. Usually I have one by now. We're going to actually place those. Yeah, we have no second. Do we have a secondary ability yet? We have the pet attack, but that's not really gonna help us. Ooh, brood mace. I'm just not gonna pick that stuff up anymore. There's no point in actually picking it up because we won't run into anything useful for a little bit. We're actually heading to get our first magic item. And you saw that little lightning bolt. That is actually from a creature that is... It's a floater creature. It has no real threat, but any ranged creature in this game is annoying. What he does is, or his higher versions, because there are actually different versions of them,